Pleased to welcome Dara Tucker to this program for the first time, not the last, celebrating her third album, The Sun Season. The project is a collection of original songs and 2 covers. If you've not heard Dara Tucker sing, 1, you're missing out, and 2, tonight you're in luck, as later in this program she'll perform the song Giants from the new project, The Sun Season. Dara, good to have you on this program.
It is mighty good to be here, Mr. Tavis.
Who is Dara Tucker?
Well, it's a question I'm still asking myself.
Yeah.
But for right now, we'll say jazz singer and yeah, a lot of other things, but really focusing on this right now. And
From where?
From Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Now Nashville, Tennessee. But done a lot of travel in my day, and you know, picked up a lot of different experiences. So.
Yeah. How is it that on the third project, folk are just starting to figure out that you exist?
I don't. Sometimes it just takes a little time to get that momentum, and then it also takes time to find your voice. I think, and that's a process that's been happening really from that first project till now. Because we started out, and it was more of like a standards, like a Nat King Cole type thing. The second project was really more focused on like an R&B kind of situation. Now I'm really focusing on my own material, you know, which is more in the contemporary jazz vein. And this is a place I'm finding that place of comfort in. So a lot of it has to do with just understanding yourself and where you belong, and that's really gelling now with this third project. Every
single artist I know, if they're being honest, will tell you, if they're being honest, that they start out copying somebody. That's what we all do until we find our own voice and we become original. So you become an original. Who did you start out emulating? Oh gosh, whole lot of folks. You know, my mom's a singer. My father was a music minister, and my mom was a singer. So I think she was probably my first and biggest influence. After that, really in the world of jazz, you know, you got folks like Nancy Wilson. Mel Torme is my favorite singer. Mel Torme is your favorite singer?
Absolutely. I think it's difficult to hear that influence because he's a male, and you know, you really don't make that connection. But yeah, Mel Torme was a huge influence.
I love Mel Torme, but what is about his voice that you love so much?
Oh gosh, it's just as smooth. I mean, they called him the Velvet Fog, though he didn't like that nickname. But you know, it's just, man, it's like honey on your ears, you know, and such a wonderful improviser, you know. So I listened to a ton of Harry Connick Jr. and in the gospel world, Andre Crouch and the Winans, Clark Sisters, folks like that. And then from the singer-songwriter world, I was borrowing a lot from James Taylor and John Denver and some of those folks. I'm just all over the place. Audra McDonald, is another huge influence.
You have an eclectic taste for music.
Absolutely.
That's always been the case?
Always. Absolutely. Always. I started out. I grew up in a very strict Christian home, and I wasn't allowed to listen to a whole lot of secular music, so I'd have to sneak away.
I know that story well.
I'd have to sneak away and do that, put the radio under my pillow. And, just started discovering some classic jazz, in addition to all the gospel and stuff that we were being introduced to, and a lot of classical as well. But it just created a hunger, it was like, what am I missing? Let me figure out what's out there.
So given all of your influences and given your amazing gift and your range, why do you think, or not why do you think, tell me why you settled into this jazz lane?
Well, I've always kind of been an old head, I guess, a little bit. I love classic films, classic television, and, not being allowed to listen to a lot of secular music, the exception was always with musicals. So my mom was a huge fan of, Danny Kaye and, Julie Andrews and stuff like that. So that's a lot of the music that we actually did get to listen to. It was just classic, classic music in films. So I think it really helped me to develop an ear, a craving for it. And like I said, I started out doing standards and then kind of got into writing more and more. So jazz just felt like a natural fit, I think, for me when I decided to launch out on my own,
So tell me about The Sun Season.
Well, The Sun Season is a collection of songs really written over probably a 10-year period. And it's kind of a reflection. A lot of the sun-themed songs were written closer to the date of the recording a couple years ago. Just a reflection of a really happy time in my life. I was starting to, I write a ton, and I started thinking, wow, we just have this theme of the sun that keeps coming up over and over again, and let's focus on that and investigate maybe why that is.
Half the titles have the word sun in them.
Yeah, they do, and it wasn't even intentional, honestly. It wasn't purposeful. But
waiting for the sun, sun see through me. The sun sweet.
Sun sweet, yeah, and I've, even talking to like Cassandra Wilson, another one of my big influences, she has a fixation on the moon. She said, well, that's just kind of the way it is sometimes, and you have this thing that kind of draws you and leads you and inspires you. That's what the sun has been for me. And like I said, it was just such a, I went through a really melancholy period, I think, early on, and then was able to, I don't know, focus on more of just that intentional joy. And that's really what this is a reflection of, just my embracing of, you're an adult now, you have the right to stand in your place and be happy, And that was kind of a new place for me.
There's a wonderful story for how this project got done. I got completed. You want to share that with me?
Yeah, this was a crowdfunded project, actually. This was our first time.
Crowdfunded?
Yeah, kind of the Kickstarter thing. It was a site called Indiegogo. And, we just launched out really into the deep because it's no fun to have to ask. But, I mean, friends, family, supporters, people that we didn't even know shared the project and helped us to gather enough money in a matter of a couple of months to put the project together. So I feel like because of that, it's so much more cohesive. We recorded this one over a period of just a couple of days, and I think the project reflects that. It's very, very uniform, and makes a really concise statement. I think because of that. So,
what kind of you fill in the blank? Responsibility, pressure, expectation. What is an artist responding to? What is an artist taking to the studio with him or her when they're doing a project not just for the fans, but a project that the fans help them to fund?
Well, you take the best of yourself in any case. I don't know that I necessarily would have approached it any differently, considering that it was a crowd-funded project. They knew that it was going to be a project full of original songs. And that was the most important thing for me, is make my statement, in the here and now. I'm not here to out Ella Fitzgerald or try to imitate anything that's come before. Who is Dara Tucker? And if I can deliver that to them to the best of my ability, then I feel like I've given them their money's worth. At least I hope I have.
There are a lot of folk over the years. I say this with great pride and a deep sense of humility. But there are a lot of folk on this program over the years who the country writ large had not heard of till they saw them here first, ranging from Esperanza Spalding to Kanye West.
I saw her.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that you will remember the name Dara Tucker, and that you saw her first on PBS. So now you get the joy of hearing Dara perform. You can judge for yourself how beautiful this voice really is. Along with her keyboardist, Josh Mosher. The song is called Giants, from the new album, The Sun Season. Dara, good to have you on this program.
So good to be here. Thank you for championing jazz, Tavis.
Honored to have you on this program. All the best to you in the future.
Thank you so much.
Come back and don't forget about us.
Absolutely.
When you blow up, don't forget about us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching, as always, and keep the faith.
And I will stand and face the wind, and I will find a way to live. And I will walk this road alone, and I'll rely upon this stone till the giants in my life come falling down. Till these giants in my life come falling down. I am engaged with forces great, though I know not how high the stakes. And I will make this journey home, and I will use this single stone till the giants in my life come falling down. Till these giants in my life come falling down. And we'll stand amazed at what we see when the cause is not defeat but victory. And all who gather there will know that here lies a mighty foe. we do not leave this battlefield with no regard for that which heals. But we do make this cause our own if all we have is just a stone. To make these giants in our lives come falling down. To make these giants in our lives come falling down. To make these giants in our lives come falling down, down. To make these giants in our lives come falling down.